on redemption.
This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trailer Into Reaction. As usual, I hope everyone had a good weekend. And what I'm looking at today is the third and more likely the final trailer for Denis Villeneuve's upcoming Dune, Part 3. Now, the thing is, you've also probably heard that Denis Villeneuve will be directing the next James Bond film, since Michael G. Wilson and I believe it's Barbara Broccoli are no longer controlling the franchise. And that's interesting. And I'll get back to Dune in a moment. That's interesting because I think the Bond franchise has gone through ups and downs. And I think it's fairly apparent that someone else can do that job. It doesn't have to be Broccoli and Wilson. Someone else can handle it. And I think Denis Villeneuve is a perfect choice for it because he does physical action well and he does intensity very well. He does human scale very well, which takes me back to Dune. I don't think he does epic very well. I don't think he does the unknowable and the unknown very well, because Dune for me does not feel epic. Visually, it's beautiful to watch, but that's not necessarily because of what's on the screen. A lot of it's due to the cinematography and the way the camera is positioned that give it this ethereal type feel. But it's not a very interesting, visually speaking, movie beyond that. It never feels really alien, at least not to me. It never feels particularly unusual. And as I often do, I go back to David Lynch's version, which feels weird and strange and sometimes even uncomfortable. The point being, you're depicting a humanity decades, if not millennia, in a different spot from where we are currently. I want to feel that. And I would argue I felt that with Lynch's version. With Villeneuve's version, it just feels like people. He didn't spend any time with the Butlerian jihad. He doesn't really explain the world the characters live in, and you don't necessarily see it. So, while the locations will change, the sets will change, visually speaking, it just never sang to me. It never really resonated to me, which is why I'm glad to see Villeneuve doing the Bond films. I think that's something he could do really well with. And that Dune is finishing, because I just find it, on the whole, somewhat underwhelming. In any case, let's look at the third trailer for Dune, Part 3.
I trusted you! You promised me that you would never take power in your name. You convinced me that this was your home.
Trees.
That I was your home.
What do you know about me?
You've conquered the galaxy. You've destroyed thousands of worlds.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think you're waiting on redemption.
Why are you here?
To deliver a peace proposal.
Peace is a good thing. Why should I refuse?
Because it's meant to destroy you.
The path is strike the core of imperial power.
You intend to kill Paul?
Regime change.
You just signed our death warrants.
forgive me for all I've done.
Well, that was the third and probably final trailer for Dune Part 3. And does anyone notice that Zendaya in the Dune films has a relatively limited range? It might be just me, but she pouts a lot in these movies. And very little else. And that's not to say Zendaya isn't a good actress. In a Spider-Man film, she's much better. But in Dune, she just has such a limited range. All she seems to do is pout a lot. It's not particularly interesting. Though this at least seems to be trying to be epic. And I'm not saying it's going to work, but at least it seems to be trying to be bigger than the sum of its parts. The question is, will it succeed? Though what do you think? This is Brian with ScreenFiles.com and Trail into Reaction. Do you agree, disagree? Let me know down below. And as usual, consider a like, follow, or buy me a coffee. Peace.